Welcome back to Coffee with Kenny, segment 2 with my dear friend Mark the Kid Martin and his son Matt. All right, we're following up. You are the most well-respected driver in NASCAR history, in my opinion. That's my opinion. You can call, text any driver that is relevant today, and they'll respond to you immediately. Now, with that being said, it appears NASCAR listened to you. When you started talking about these points being wrong, quickly NASCAR responded, maybe not to you, but to everybody. How does that make you feel, that respect that you get?
For me, it's everything. It's my crown jewel of my career. It's my championship. Respect is not given, it's earned.
Yeah, and when I think about that, I think about when you and Jeff Burton were teammates and you guys were going at it, sharing your chassis setups. And I remember Jeff Burton, your teammate, talking about you guys, earning the respect, winning the races, doing it the right way. Did that come in your upbringing with your dad, Julian, just working, grinding it out?
Well, my dad did instill hard work and respect into me, but as I came up the ranks, I just always looked up to the big dog, the Wayne Brooks, the Larry Carsons. Then it was
who are these people?
They're dirt racers, at Batesville. That was the 6-cylinder division hot dog, Wayne Brooks. Then it was Larry Carson, the late model, hot dog. Then it was Larry Phillips.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Yeah. Then it was Dick Trickle.
Yeah.
Then it was Dale Earnhardt. And, I always craved to be treated with respect from those people that I thought were the gods of the sport.
Yeah. Yeah. So you said on our Kenny conversation, and by the way, we've done a couple really good Kenny conversations with Mark. And what really got this pot stirred up is when you said, I feel like everything I did in my past in NASCAR, you felt like it was being diminished. So here NASCAR is now, they're getting ready to announce, we're all waiting, they're getting ready to announce a change in the format. In your mind, what do you want to see for the points format? And this is what the fans have been tuning in. Now we're on our second segment. Are you all in with 36?
I am all in with 36. I think we need to debate what the points pay, how you award the points.
Yeah.
That's a debatable subject. But first you have to say, yes, we're going to go with full season. However, I know we're almost positive we can't get NASCAR to do that. And so I could get behind a 10-race chase format as a compromise. Nothing less. If they come with this 3-3-4 business,
it's not
going to resonate with the fans. It's not going to move the needle, and I will not be a supporter of it.
I haven't heard about 3-3-4. You're more privy. You know more than I know. What is that?
Well, that would be elimination of, let's say 16, you'd run 3 races, you'd eliminate, and then you'd run 3 more races, and you'd eliminate some guys, and then you would have X amount of the 16 left for a 4-race points race. That's not, you got to get back to some of the legitimacy and the tradition of auto racing. We are not ball sports. We don't play. We shouldn't have playoffs. We don't have timed races. We don't have overtime. We've got green, white, checkered, or a race, a race off instead of a playoff, whatever kind of thing. But, trying to make it a ball sport is part of what has pissed off so many race fans. The traditional race fans don't like to see, they don't recognize what they're seeing.
You and your son Matt put thousands of miles in the Newell coach, and you talk with each other. And I mean this is a compliment. You're like a mini-me. My big brother Rusty, you look at me and Rusty, we look the same. You two look the same. Your son comes up with some really good points, and you talk about the identity. NASCAR has lost its identity. And I asked you earlier in segment 1, why are the fans so angry? And we started talking about that. I like what you had to say. NASCAR has lost its identity. What was your thought on that, Matt?
Well, just take a look as an example. Look at the Porsche 911. When you look at one from 1975 and you look at one from 2025, it still looks like the same car. It has the same identity. Of course, the modern one today is twice the size as the one from 75, but you still know what you're looking at. It's maintained its heritage over the years. You look at the NASCAR cars today, they don't look anything like they used to. A long time ago, they had the big cars, Richard Petty and all those guys drove. Well, in 81, they downsized the car, and it's a new car, but it still looks like a NASCAR race car. It maintained its identity and heritage. Well, you look at the cars today, and they look like sports cars.
The ass is dragging.
Yeah, if you had no idea, if you had no context, nobody to tell you what that was, you would not think it was a NASCAR race car at all. And that's just one example, I think, that NASCAR's gotten away from its identity and its roots. And I think that has pissed off a lot of diehard race fans.
Okay, so we want to get this quote right. And we did this in chronological order. And here's why I went there with your son, Matt. And I'm going to look at my notes, and I'm going to read this. And I'm reading this to Mark, everybody. Here is Steve O'Donnell's quote, the president of NASCAR. Steve O'Donnell, the president of NASCAR, says, "We erred and gave up the core fans for the new fans." And now they said they're going to change, and they hired this company to come out with this phrase, "Hell yeah." We've all seen it. To me, hell yeah means Earnhardt's my man. I liked his daddy. Okay, they said they're going to go back. The ass of the car is dragging right now. I don't like that.
Can't stand it.
They've changed the number where it's at. That pisses you off, Mark.
I can't stand the way it looks. I mean, they could move it back a foot. Yeah. And it looks so much better just 12 inches back. It doesn't have to be dead center of the door. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to expand on that.
He gets fired up about it.
The aesthetics of these race cars is more important than people think. Because when you used to see a race car as a young kid and you'd see a race car as being, oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't think people look at these cars now and say that. And it could be so easy. People say, well, no, the car doesn't race good. I'm not talking about that. That's a hard thing to fix. How the cars race is difficult. It's easy to fix the looks of this car.
Yeah.
Easy and very inexpensive, and it would there's a certain draw to the aesthetics of a race car. It needs to excite people when they see one.
In segment 1 of Coffee with Kenny, you said there's a lot of unintended consequences. And I got to tell you, Mark, you made me wake up, because it's like a Rubik's Cube. You're going to make all these colors match up. Now we've messed everything up over here. With this car, we created the smooth bottom, the turtle shell. But what we didn't know is when it would spin out, you couldn't get back to the pit area. Now they had to redesign the tow truck. You said some things to me about unintended consequences. Just elaborate on that a little bit more.
What I meant by that, too, is that there were good concepts in all these decisions along the way. Like, I applaud the concept for so many of these things. Unfortunately, after they were implemented, we saw these things like, oh, I didn't think about that. The negative consequences of, say when you're in, or they wanted to make downforce with the bottom of the car so that the air wouldn't be as disturbed for the following car. Yeah. I applaud that. But for some reason, they learned after they did it, that it was worse for Formula One cars.
Yeah.
And it's worse for NASCAR cars. Unfortunately, we didn't see that, going into it. And I thought, yeah, that's a good principle. Seems good, but it didn't work out. So there's so many things. Everything that you do has consequences. And that's one of the things about when you ask why the fans are so angry.
Angry.
Well, they're angry. Most of those fans that are angry are ones that have been marginalized.
Yeah.
Like they were marginalized to attract new fans. And those new fans didn't come in large enough numbers to really offset the
point.
loss of the other. And they're casual fans. Like they want to see the green, white, checkered, the wreck at the end, the sparks flying and all that stuff. They don't watch the pre-race show. They don't watch the post-race show. The diehard fan watches all of that. And so, that they have a legitimate reason to be, because I feel they were marginalized.
Okay, people don't like it when I repeat myself, and I haven't. But I want to say Steve O'Donnell's quote one more time, because we got so much more to talk about this subject. The president of NASCAR said they messed up by trying to get new fans, and they lost their old fans. Now, with that being said, let's say we're old. Mark Martin's old. He don't know what he's talking about. But Mark, you said something to me, and I want to tee this up for you. It hasn't helped. TV ratings are down. We've taken grandstands out. So if the TV executives and everybody's right, why are we losing everything?
I agree with that 100%.
You said it. You said it.
And I will say this. If you go to a full season schedule, points system, it may not be as exciting. And it may not bring TV ratings back up, but it will certainly bring legitimacy. And if we start now, Steve O'Donnell has said, I got to see the action.
Right.
I want to see the action. But he said, we're going to move back toward the tradition of the sport. That I want to see. And over a period of time, if we can just be cognizant that we are the size we are and not be losing our mind trying to grow the sport so fast,
Yeah.
and hold on to our traditions, then I think that over a period of time, we can get some of those fans we lost back. And we need to work hard at developing new fans in a different way. We don't need to attract them with sparklers and fireworks and stuff. We need to attract them with good, solid racing and our tradition and exciting looking race cars and different storylines, and build our superstars. We have superstars in the making in the sport right now, but they're too busy talking about the cut line and winning you're in. And you can win a race and nobody even pay any attention. And I hate that. Bubba Wallace won the Brickyard 400. He should have been the baddest mofo in town for a while because he won, but no.
Fizzled out so quick.
It was just gone because winning in, now he's in. And it was,
Put him over here. He's in. We'll talk about you 2 months from now.
And so that's just an example. Man, every race is a big deal, and we need to get back to that. Not, now he's in the, he's in the playoffs, and now he don't have to run till, next round of the playoff. It's just, we need to change how we cover our sport.
So Steve O'Donnell and everybody at NASCAR, they're going to know about this conversation. And he said what he said, he said, we're going to fix this. We're going to make it right. We're not giving up. And they said, we are going to now change the racetrack. We're going to leave Phoenix because all the fans got it in their head that Penske's going to win all the championships. So now next year, the points are going to change and the last race is going to be back at Miami Homestead. What is your thoughts on not just going back to Miami Homestead, but what will we change tracks again? What is your thoughts of changing the last race of the year to year? Can they do that with all the logistics and TV schedule? Can they do that?
It's very challenging, as you know, it is. I'm a little bit torn. I get it that Phoenix, I think Homestead can put on a race finale, racing on the surface, the way that racetrack is, maybe a little bit better than the Phoenix thing. But Phoenix is awesome racetrack.
7 wide down that damn front straightaway.
It is, and the racing was good there, and it has been. But you have to remember they pack that place and have every time since 1989 when we started going there with NASCAR. They pack that place, the campgrounds, the stand, everywhere, and so I understand why the championship finale was at Phoenix. I'm a supporter of Homestead. It feels right to me, but I'm also a supporter of looking at maybe changing around. But it's not as necessary as it was because it's not going to be one race for the championship.
Yeah, true.
But I still support moving the finale around because they are smart at NASCAR. They can figure out how to do that and make it exciting. I don't envy NASCAR at all. I don't want to be the ones making.
I don't want to be them.
I don't want to be the one that makes the call on this points. NBC is giving them the green light. Said we don't care what your format is. We'll just do everything we can to cover it. So they have the opening. I don't want to be the one that makes the decision. No. I feel bad for them because no matter what they do, they're going to get beat up. But certainly 80% of the fan base wants to see either full season or a 10-race runoff. Nothing less than that. And people are starting to realize that's a fact. That's not me blowing smoke. That is a fact.
I'm going to do it right now, and hopefully this will be a good one. You were right all along.
I know.
Damn! I said, Mark, you were right all along. And me and Matt's like,
I know.
And the reason I bring that up is because you said 80% of the fans, you took a lot of polls and you got a lot of social media people that you can talk with. Is that the number you see?
I mean, it might be 77. It might not be
Matt?
80.
Well, he did a poll, and then Jeff Gluck did a poll, and motorsport.com did a poll, and the results are pretty much identical.
Within 1 or 2% on each one, yes. No,
Do you think people wanted to ignore those polls?
Initially, I think they did.
Oh, yeah, they thought, well.
Some people did.
The deniers, they crap all over it. But that, between Gluck and my poll.
I thought, well, that's Mark's people.
Yeah, and they said it's old people, right? But then Jeff Gluck did it because I complained to Jeff. Yeah. And I knew, I said, NASCAR won't do that poll because they don't want to see the results. Yeah. See, it's not, so many people in the industry want the playoffs because they think that it's more exciting, so they think it's going to help them grow.
Yeah.
It hasn't helped, and it's killed the legitimacy, and finally people are starting to see that. So, they didn't want to believe it. Gluck put the same poll out as me, got dang near exactly the same numbers, and every poll that every other .comer has put out is within 2 or 3 points of our polls.
I kind of felt that this is a topic that we don't have on our notes. I watched the NASCAR Awards banquet from Arizona through social media. All the drivers spent more time apologizing to Denny Hamlin than they did receiving their award. So the whole industry now, Mark has changed my mind, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm gutted for Denny Hamlin. I'm gutted for Carl Edwards. I didn't put it all together. I do want to, and this is my quote, I do agree with you now because I feel so bad for Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin. They should not have to put up with that crushing blow. Like Denny said, 40 more seconds later, and he would have been the champion.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is your thoughts of the industry right now, right this minute, the complete industry, the drivers, Roger Penske, Rick Hendrick, they're apologizing for winning the championship. They are. You're sitting there it is. It's like.
Well, first of all, let's not diminish Kyle Larson, in Hendrick Motorsports. They won the championship, and so did Joe Logano last year. Claiming anything other, is just sour grapes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Denny Hamlin, you couldn't do more to earn it than what they did.
Man, oh man.
And he can probably come back and do as good next year, but no race fan knows how hard it was for him to do what he did. And it really pulls at people's heartstrings about his father. And I know about it. I raced after my father passed, and I wanted to win the race so freaking bad.
Yeah.
I can imagine what Denny wants his father to see before he passes. It's just.
It is emotional.
It's a very emotional thing. It doesn't diminish whatever, the other champions, but it does expose, that, we need to make a change in this and make this more a legitimate kind of championship race. One race, 40 seconds, one blown tire. If the 24 didn't hit the wall, if he blew a tire like many of the others did and didn't hit the wall, Denny's champion.
William Byron comes to the press conference after the race and puts his hand on Denny. And Denny isn't expected. Denny's like, and William Byron says, "I'm sorry. I brought out that caution." Here's a guy that's fighting for the championship, and he's sorry to Denny Hamlin. And that's when I started seeing this shift, that I started going, oh my God, maybe this point system is too brutal, because everybody's saying, no, the jack breaks on a pit stop, you lose the championship.
Yeah, it's winner take all.
Yeah. But
In
William
one race.
Byron gained so much respect in that. I mean, that's a true man to have empathy for that. He did not want to be interjected into the championship in that way. He wanted to be the spoiler in winning it himself, but not in that way. There again, we talk about superstars. William Byron needs to be one of our superstars. Unfortunately, we don't know enough about him.
Yeah.
We need to cover these guys more and cover these crew chiefs. We need to make heroes out of these crew chiefs, like the old days, because that's what people latch on to. And we need Kyle Busch, and we need Denny Hamlin. And we need Chastain to be Chastain.
Yeah.
And we need Hocevar to be Hocevar. I don't care. Fans need to be mad.
Yeah.
And they need to be riled.
Yeah.
We need that. They were mad at Earnhardt. They were mad at Walter. They were mad at. You gotta have that fire in our sport, and we can achieve that if we get more connected with the players, with the drivers, with the crew chiefs.
Yeah.